Years since President Trump's return to the White House, with 2.5 million illegal immigrants leaving the U.S. over the past year, nearly 600,000 arrests, over 600,000 deportations, nearly 2 million voluntary self-deportations, and get this, 8 months of zero releases at the border. Now that the border is under control, border agents are on the ground and assisting ICE in 27 cities, including Minneapolis, to arrest illegal immigrants. U.S. Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks joins us now. Chief, thanks for joining us. Listen, huge news. And really, the first thing I want to get to you is we're calling it, at a year where we've got a secure border. But really, you're talking about 8 months of no parole releases. I don't know. The border has felt secure for the majority of this first year. I think what a lot of Americans want to understand, if you can give us some details on how is it that President Trump was able to secure the border, obviously with the Border Patrol, when under Biden it seemed impossible.
Yep. Thank you for having me on, Joe. And I think it's very easy to explain this. Under the Biden administration, they created policies that usurped law. They tied the hands of the United States Border Patrol and did not allow us to do our job. Under the Trump administration, with the leadership of President Trump and Secretary Noem, they've taken those handcuffs off and said, simply go enforce the law. Tell us what you need to be successful. And imagine that when there's laws enforced and consequences are delivered, people stop taking advantage of the system and breaking into the country. And so we've simply been allowed to enforce the laws. No new laws on the books. Up until the big, beautiful bill, not a single new dime of money. Yeah. And we were able to get this level of control by simply enforcing the law and taking away that pull factor of letting people in without a consequence.
Yeah, that's such a great point, that it wasn't like you just got an influx of funding right away either. You're using the tools you had at hand. This is President Trump talking about it.
Closed. You can't come in. And nobody comes. Nobody even tries. And the people in Texas, Arizona, all these places that are won by such big numbers, they are so happy with the border. They had homes that they weren't even able to live in their home. Every day people were knocking on their door, every hour. And it's just a great honor to be involved with it. The ICE and Border Patrol and all of the people have been so good. Tom Homan, Kristi Noem. The people have done such an incredible job. You have no idea.
Yeah, so the first thing he said there was they don't even try. And it's this idea, what is the effect of the smoke signals? I mean, President Biden really sent the signal, come on in, and President Trump sent the signal, don't you dare. Like, what's the real world effect of just the posture of the president?
So again, words matter, right? And so, we talk about the president being firm. We call it the Trump effect. People knew, based on his history and based on what he said we were going to do on the border. They knew we were going to do it. And so they said, you know what? It's not even time to come. And then reverse migration. We're seeing, as you broke out to the top of the hour, self-deportation, right? The message is very clear. If you want to come to this country, go to a port of entry and apply the proper way, or go to a consulate and apply. Do not come to this country illegally. It will not be tolerated. You will be apprehended, prosecuted, and returned. And then the follow-up, right? The words matter, but then having those agents out there, not having thousands of agents inside processing false asylum claims.
Exactly. On that topic about what agents are doing now, the border is secure, so Border Patrol agents are working in more than 24 cities to assist ICE. Tell us about the success of that and how prepared Border Patrol agents are to work inside metropolises that aren't necessarily border cities.
And so, look, in Border Patrol, we're great working out in the border, but I tell you what, there's a lot of metropolis cities that are along the border in places like El Paso and San Diego. We know how to work within the city. And so our ICE partners needed assistance. We are going to assist any law enforcement agency that is out there conducting immigration operations. We're going to do targeted enforcement. We're going to target those in this country. We want to send a very clear message. Just getting across the border illegally and getting past Border Patrol does not give you a free pass to remain in this country. And you should expect that the United States Border Patrol will find you where you're at if you're in this country illegally, effect that arrest, and have you deported back to the country that you came from.
Listen, a lot of hard work, and now we're celebrating a year of success. Chief, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for serving your country.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.